Hello and welcome to MSEM's Custom Night Magic. I'm Caillou, and today we're going to be watching the round 1 match between Cftsoc, who is on 5-color Monument Tempo, and Timespiraled, who is on MonoRed Aggro. So I chose to spectate this match because Monument has been like a deck before, but I think the 5-color version had me intrigued because it's not an idea I've seen executed before. Um, Additionally, MonoRed Aggro has been on a tear through the format since I've been gone, so I kind of want to see firsthand how it performs, and also see if Cftsoc deck can stand up to it as a rogue brew. Because I think MonoRed Aggro in any format is the "you must be this tall" kind of a benchmark. So Cftsoc mulling does now have the titular monument in hand, along with Slafield Overseer, Commune with Contra, another monument, Gathering the Gang. This is so weird. This is such a weird list. So I guess the Gathering the Gang is to start tutoring cards with the Slafield Overseer, but oh, okay, just bottoms the Slafield Overseer. That seems like kind of a non-bow. I'm also not sure why Commune with Contra is in this deck. Might just be for the land fixing, but since Monument is an artifact and not an enchantment, Commune can't actually grab it. But okay, Matt gonna open up turn 1, Avatar of Basset, 2/1 Menace, so just really impactful, and against creature decks especially so. But Cftsoc is gonna play the Pain Land turn 1, ping himself for 1 and Commune with Contra. Now we can see what this is all about. Grabs a Timber Range, okay, so maybe it is just for fixing. The Northern Holdout should also help with fixing. Cftsoc is probably going to use his Timber Range to find a Snow basic, and then Northern Holdout essentially produces 5 colors of mana. Also, since Monument is colorless, that means Cftsoc can just go Snow basic, Monument to the Fallen Man, and then can flash in Fireshaper Adept. But Matt going to run out Kinken. It probably just going to name Avatar of Basset to get in for 4 this turn. Or maybe Emissary of Antiquity, since it's going to come down next turn. Okay, it's going to name Emissary of Antiquity because Matt has 2 of them, and they come down next turn with haste anyways. So getting to swing in for a whopping 8 damage next turn, 2 this turn, and getting double Emissary triggers is going to be brutal, because next turn Matt drops the first Emissary, swings in with it and Avatar of Basset, then can cast both Rogar's Frenzy and the second Emissary off of that. For now, Cftsoc is just going to play Northern Holdout and play Monument to the Fallen Man. It didn't play the Timber Range, which kind of surprises me. I feel like getting a Snow Mountain would have been good for giving access to Into the Unknown, gives access to actually activating the Northern Holdout. I think it might be that Cftsoc scared of shocking himself with the Shock Fetch, which is fair. But I think that he's got to have his mana to do anything in this matchup. And I feel like without the Slafield Overseer to tutor with Gathering the Gang, I feel like Cftsoc might not be able to find some of the tech that his deck might hold against this mono-red deck. But yeah, turn 3, Matt is going to swing in with Emissary of Antiquity because of Kinken, gets a tapped token copy of it that's attacking. So does a whopping 8 damage and gets 2 Emissary triggers. So I guess Cftsoc is thinking about whether to flash in the Fireshaper Adept. It wouldn't do anything though, because it can't block the Avatar, it can't block the Emissaries. Planning on copying the... Yeah, I don't think Cftsoc had anything that he could do there. Oh, could copy the Emissary of Antiquity trigger, and then cast a Gathering the Gang. Okay, so first Matt is going to cast a Rogar's Frenzy, ping Cftsoc for 3, and isn't going to cast the second Emissary of Antiquity. Okay, and in response to the second trigger, Cftsoc is going to flash into Fireshaper Adept, and then Into the Unknown or Gathering the Gang. I don't think it makes much of a difference, because if Cftsoc doesn't have an answer to the Emissary of Antiquity in hand, and without some way to kill Emissary, Cftsoc just loses next turn. So yeah, okay, he's going to copy the Emissary's free cast ability and then free cast Gathering the Gang. But yeah, even if Cftsoc somehow top decks a wipe here, Matt has the second Emissary in hand to just end Cftsoc next turn. So Cftsoc with the Refuse Trawler top deck, not that this does anything really. I guess the best thing that Cftsoc could do is Refuse Trawler, or put in Refuse Trawler with Monument, pay green, and then try to rediscover something off the top, but I don't know what Cftsoc could rediscover that would save him in this situation. Okay, is gonna play the Refuse Trawler off of the Monument to the Fallen Man, and then activate its rediscover ability. And yeah, guess didn't hit any action off of that, so we're going straight into game 2. And yeah, like I don't know what any deck can do against a start that blisteringly fast. Like Kinken into Emissary of Antiquities is brutal. Like hell, Emissary of Antiquities on its own is brutal enough. Okay, so getting into game 2, Cftsoc opening hand has Mana Ascetic with access to no Monument. And oh, surprising that Cftsoc did keep this with only one land. But I guess Mana Ascetic plus Timber Range could potentially give perfect mana. And then from then on, Veilborn Meddler is kind of disgusting with all of the tempo synergies that this deck has. Timestream Sentinel is very spicy here. I'm kind of surprised by it, but I guess with Gathering the Gang it can be nice. The intended use is with Aetherizing or Blinking synergies. That works. Yeah, I think the problem is if Cftsoc just goes, yeah, Forest Mana Ascetic. Now, if Matt scorches the Mana Ascetic instead of playing out one of his 1-drops, Cftsoc is super behind. But nope, Matt doesn't know about Cftsoc hand, and thus furthers his own game plan, is going to play Vicious Slasher. And Cftsoc just going to run out Timestream Sentinel. That's not how mana costs work. That is a double white card. I think Cftsoc just kind of assumed. No? Okay, he's just accepting it. And then so Matt is just going to scorch the Timestream Sentinel and then swing in with Vicious Slasher. So it looks like the players have kind of sped along, but yeah, Cftsoc actually couldn't cast that Timestream, and they've already played 2 turns past it, so I don't know how they're going to rewind. So it looks like for now we're just going to move past that because it's too far to rewind. So in the meantime, Cftsoc looks like played a Seed Shrine, which, wow, spicy tech. So Gathering the Gang into a Seed Shrine, put a +1/+1 counter on Mana Ascetic, and that meant that Cftsoc could grab a Timestream Sentinel. For now, Matt is going to swing in for another 2 with the Vicious Slasher, and then is going to use Vicious Slasher's ability to give Mana Ascetic Winnow, which means damage dealt to it is also dealt to face, then scorches the Mana Ascetic, which, that is this format's Bolt the Bird. We have non-flying bird and non-instant bolt. Welcome to MSEM. But yeah, without the Mana Ascetic, Cftsoc mana situation once again becomes dire. Does not have the mana to cast Timestream Sentinel, and without it is kind of in a bind. I think is going to commune with Contro in the hopes of getting a Northern Holdout, because with these snow basics, Northern Holdout will generate white. Oh no, okay, he's going to grab an Into the Unknown. I'm kind of sus of this card in this deck, just because it's not a creature itself, so you can't put it into play. And I don't know that you're going to be getting that many lands, so I don't know how good the buffing ability is, but I'll have to ask Cftsoc the purpose of this card in this build. Okay, going to play the Timber Range. Scout becomes a 2/2. And wow, is also cracking the Shock Fetch? Okay, I guess you do get a 3/3 that way, and it can block the Vicious Slasher. Oh no, okay, he's going to use the +... Oh, actually, never mind. Yeah, okay, the +1/+1 counters are for the Gathering the Gang synergy. And so, Timestream Sentinel number 2, as soon as Cftsoc has white, can start dropping these Timestream Sentinels, and unless Matt has an instant answer for them, they can grow, and then that growth makes it so that the lifelink, their large body can't be killed by Matt's burn, and then their lifelink allows Cftsoc to stabilize. So Matt's going to once again swing in with the Vicious Slasher. Still, one thing that I haven't noted is that Matt has actually been stuck on 1 land this entire game, which is brutal. Look, has 3 Demolitionist Devisors, a Rogar's Frenzy, Kinken, and a Rakiri Descendant. Just needs another land. Meanwhile, Cftsoc with a Demolitionist Devisor of his own. Yep, gonna run it out. And wow, this also has Renown, which is synergy with Gathering the Gang. The Gathering the Gang tech is actually kind of crazy here. And I don't know if all the pieces are worth it. Like, Siege Shrine seems kind of whack in your 5-color deck. Like the Slafield worker who like puts a +1/+1 counter on mana dorks. Stuff like Demolitionist Divisor, Into the Unknown, the Timestream Sentinels, Veilborn Meddler. Like all of these like sideways +1/+1 counter synergies are super cool. I just think that like there needs to be like work done to find the proper I think proper like build of this, because right now it seems like a little bit all over the place, which on one hand is a function of 5-color decks. I think that like some of the cards could maybe be trimmed a little bit better. And also, yeah, now this Into the Unknown putting a +1/+1 counter on each creature, Cftsoc gets 2 tutors. Okay, so suddenly the Into the Unknown choice, much sense. So it's going to grab a Refuse Trawler and a Fire Shaper Adept. Still not sure about the Refuse Trawler, but I guess the returning a permanent from your graveyard to your hand is pretty great. Like, especially when every card in your deck is a permanent. Like, Regrowth on a 1/3 body that's reusable? Sign me up. And finally is going to run out the Disassociate on the Vicious Slasher. And unless Matt hits another land, this could become very bad. Because now Cftsoc has the beatdown with Demolitionist Divisor plus the Scout. And that's another King Ken. Matt is getting so mana screwed here. And God is just going to concede. We're going into game 3. That was looking like Matt's game, but sometimes, Magic is a game of variance. Time and time again has been shown. But yeah, the name of Cftsoc deck was 5-color Monument. And I guess to an extent it is that because of all the value 2-drops. But from the looks of it, it's more of a 5-color Gathering the Gang Toolbox deck. You have a lot of bears with unique abilities, and you end up tutoring them out with Gathering the Gang, and you have sideways synergies to keep activating Gathering the Gang. But yeah, going into this game 3, Matt is now on the play, which, every aggro player's dream. And this time, instead of the Mana Screw, Mana Flood for Matt, but it does have the curve of turn 2 Demolitionist Divisor into turn 3 like Emissary of Antiquities. Meanwhile, Cftsoc has Monument to the Fallen Man, which allows him to free cast the Timestream Sentinel. The Slafield Overseers help help Cftsoc if he ever gets a Gathering the Gang. For now, though, he's just going to play the Mountain and pass. But yeah, I really like the idea of Monument letting you cheat on your mana costs. And then in the late game, Cftsoc has like Northern Holdout and stuff to let him actually hardcast them. Matt is going to play out the Demolitionist Divisor, Cftsoc with the Monument to the Fallen Man, which hopefully Matt realizes that this will allow Cftsoc to flash in a Timestream Sentinel. On the other hand, it depends on how much Matt cares, because if Matt just goes Mountain, Emissary of Antiquities, Cftsoc is put into a position where if he doesn't want Matt to free cast, has to essentially sack the Timestream Sentinel into the Emissary of Antiquities by flashing it in and chump blocking. And then Matt can just, so it's going to run out Emissary of Antiquities and then swing 5. Yeah, this is basically like every tempo player's nightmare. Oh, so they have creatures that are cheaper than mine and are also more efficient and allow them to bypass playing a spell a turn? So I can't just play threat and then answer? But Cftsoc is not going to flash in the Timestream Sentinel to block. It's just going to take all the damage. And then Matt is surprisingly going to cast Storm Surge to face, not the Rakiri Descendant. That actually surprises me a lot, because I feel like if I was Matt right there, I would cast a Rakiri Descendant, because then you can swing in for like 8 next turn, assuming that Cftsoc doesn't have like a relevant blocker like this Timestream Sentinel, and then you can still cast the Storm Surge off the Emissary of Antiquities. Oh, and here she comes. Suzume Oshiroko is available, but it looks like, oh no, Cftsoc has the King Ken, so can now name Timestream Sentinel, and then, oh, this is a problem, and then can swing for a total of 6 lifelink damage. This is going to be really painful for Matt. Can hardcast the Storm Surge, though, to kill the Timestream Sentinel. Oh, but in response to that, what Cftsoc can do is flash in Suzume Oshiroko with Monument to the Fallen Man, and then use Suzume Oshiroko's ability to bounce the Time Stream Sentinel, so it can save it from the Storm Surge. Oh, but no, it's going to use the Monument on his turn to flash in Fire Shaper Adept, copying the Time Stream Sentinel, or copying the Kinken trigger. So it actually swings in for a total of 6 damage. Or sorry, no, 6 with the first Time Stream Sentinel, 4 with the second, and then 2 with the last. So 12 damage, all of which is lifelink. While the other Time Stream Sentinels made off the Kinken go away, the first one sticks around and is now immune to burn. I don't think that Matt has an answer to this. Like, I think at this point you just scoop. Unless Matt has like some secret tech right here. Like the red Doomblade. And yeah, Cftsoc gains all the way back up to 22. And then threatens to just do it again next turn because Kinken stays around. Okay, what does Matt hit? A Rogar's Gambit. Still is 1 damage off of being able to kill this Time Stream Sentinel. Needs to, oh wait, no, can do it. Never mind. So, play Rogar's Gambit on the Time Stream Sentinel with Divisor plus Antiquities. Antiquities hits. You cast Storm Surge for free, pay 2, reprise Rogar's Gambit onto the Storm Surge that deals a total of 7 damage and Time Stream Sentinel dies. So I think that's Matt's saving grace line right here. And since Cftsoc got a little greedy and flashed into Fire Shaper Adept, can't flash into Suzume Oshiroko to save the Time Stream Sentinel. Okay, so Matt is going to run out the Rogar's Gambit. 2 damage to the Time Stream Sentinel. So does this mean that he's seen the line? Okay, and is going to swing 6. Cftsoc is just going to take it all. Not going to block with a Fire Shaper Adept, interestingly enough. I guess wants to reuse it with the Grandma plus Monument. Okay, free cast Storm Surge. And is going to reprise the Rogar's Gambit. Yup. So can now kill the Time Stream Sentinel. And just like that, Matt is now back into the game. Might be on 8 life, but with Cftsoc only source of life gain gone, is just like, that makes this so much easier for Matt to deal with. Okay, and a Roads Untraveled from Cftsoc. Once again, seems like a weird card for a deck entirely based around a creature and an artifact. I guess the Roads Untraveled is... Oh, I know, never mind, sorry. This is for gathering... Now I know it's based around Gathering the Gang. Duh. Okay, so this is for getting Gathering the Gang and for getting Fixing. Yeah, without a way to grab a Time Stream Sentinel here, it is kind of painful. And I think one mistake that Cftsoc made here is cracking the fetch land before doing this, because I think one thing Cftsoc should have played Shifting Glade, or sorry, use Shifting Glade to pay for the Roads Untraveled. If you hit the Gathering the Gang, you play Into the Unknown. Oh wait, no, wouldn't have the mana then. Well, never mind. So yeah, my plan was Into the Unknown, and then you crack the fetch land, and then you get a +1/+1 counter, and then you can use that to tutor for a Time Stream Sentinel, which you can then flash in with Monument to the Fallen Man. Oh, but since Cftsoc did hit a land, it can Into the Unknown, yep, but then can't tutor anything. Okay, buffs up the Fire Shaper Adept and the Scout, and he's going to swing with the Fire Shaper Adept. Okay, makes sense. Matt is on 6 life, and then also can flash in Suzume Oshiroko and then swing for 6 next turn if Matt stays, like if Matt just swings out fully. And yeah, Matt does not have lethal here, so probably will have to hold back. Like I would play Rakiri Dissident here, and then swing with the Demolition Divisor and the Emissary of Antiquity. Even if Cftsoc blocks a Demolition Divisor, you kill 2 of his creatures. And then if Cftsoc doesn't block, you just get in for 6, have Rakiri Descendant up as a blocker, and then you can Rogar's Gambit to kill one of Cftsoc creatures. And that way you don't just die to flash in a creature, disassociate next turn. Oh, okay, he's just going to kill the Scout first. I guess wants to keep the Demolition Divisor alive. And then Rakiri Dissident, so now actually can just swing out with everything. No, actually that's still at risk of dying. Okay, he's going to swing with everything. Hits Cftsoc for 8 and leaves him dead next turn. Oh no, okay, so it's going to flash into Suzume Yoshiroko, blocks a Rikiri Dissident, so Rikiri Dissident dies. Divisor and Emissary do get in for 6, but now if Cftsoc hits a land, he swings in for 6 and kills Matt. So it all comes down to whether Cftsoc top decks a land. Doesn't, but does hit a Gathering the Gang, which is great with the synergy with Into the Unknown and the Slafield Overseers. And wow, is swinging 4 with Suzume and the Fire Shaper Adept, putting Matt down to 2. And then plays Slafield Overseer as a ground blocker, and then plays Slafield Overseer number 2. Man, this is crazy. Oh no, and a second Emissary of Antiquities for Matt. The thing is, though, Matt has to keep 2 creatures up at all times in case of, because of the Suzume and Fire Shaper. Like, I guess could keep up 3 if he's worried about land, and then that buffs up the Slafield Overseers. Matt just dies, but I think you have to play to your outs, and I think the out here is play Emissary of Antiquities, swing with one of the Emissary of Antiquities, leaving the Demolitionist Divisor and the other Emissary of Antiquities up, and then just hope to hit a burn spell next turn, and hope Cftsoc doesn't hit a land, essentially. So yep, Emissary of Antiquity coming out. And wow, Matt is just going to concede there. Isn't even going to play to his out. Yeah, I don't know why he did that. Like, the Overseer still had Summoning Sickness, so they couldn't tap on Matt's turn. Oh, I guess. Yeah, no, I don't see what line I was missing that could have won Cftsoc that game next turn, other than Cftsoc top decking a land. Like, you could have just waited 1 turn, Matt. I mean, there could be some play that I'm missing that was like on board that I didn't see. It didn't seem like it, but yeah, I guess good games to Cftsoc, who barely clutched it out with those Timestream Sentinels clawing his way back onto the board. With Matt, showed how terrifyingly powerful MonoRed can be, especially the Emissary of Antiquity, and also had some tight play with that Storm Surge plus Rogar's Gambit. So I think we got to see some cool stuff from both players. I'm going to be signing off for a bit until we get to the next round, but until then, this is Caillou signing off.